It is 8:01 now on the East Coast in Florida, where crews are beginning to assess the damage left behind after Hurricane Milton. Look at your screen here. This is video of Tropicana Field Stadium in St. Petersburg, Florida, after Milton's winds ripped the roof off. The stadium, which is home to the Tampa Bay Rays, was going to be used as a base camp for first responders.
For the third time this year, a hurricane slammed straight into the Sunshine State. Milton is making its way towards the Atlantic as a Category 1 hurricane at this hour, with some wind speeds of 85 miles per hour. The
storm made landfall last night at about 6:30 local time as a Category 3 storm hours earlier than initially forecasted. Since then, it has brought nearly 16 inches of rain in some spots, and that could cause some life-threatening flash flooding. Right now, 3 million businesses are without power, and in just 1 hour last night, Mimi, in St. Petersburg, they received 5 inches of rain. Just 1 hour.
5 inches of rain. According to NBC News, a number of deaths have already been reported in Florida's Atlantic coast, where multiple tornadoes touched down during the day. This is video from Palm Beach County, where this monster tornado ripped through homes, flipping over cars and trees. And the threat is still imminent this morning. Tampa's mayor is urging residents to stay inside, warning that high tide will cause more rivers to flood.
This is already becoming an historic hurricane. It's the third hurricane to make landfall in Florida this year. That ties for the most on record. And in the entire Gulf Coast, this now makes 5 hurricanes that have made landfall in the U.S. just this season. That is now the second most on record. Rich Marriott also tracking Milton this morning.
Yeah, Rich, where is the hurricane right now? And talk about the impact that it's having on Florida.
Yeah, well, you saw that impact it was having yesterday evening, still really impacting the state at this point. It has moved offshore. It moved just to the north of Cape Canaveral several hours ago. You see the circulation around what used to be the eye there as that starts to move out into the Atlantic. And we continue to see some pretty heavy rainfall. You can see up there just around the Daytona Beach area. Still recovering over along the west coast as we did have the storm surge there, and that water still running off. And as you heard, there was 5 inches of rain there in St. Petersburg. There's still a lot of water to run off at this point, but the system is moving on to the east. And if we take a look at it, currently it's still a Category 1 hurricane, 85 miles per hour sustained wind, gusts to 105, but it is going to weaken during the day today as it moves farther out into the Atlantic. Finally should just turn into, they call it an extratropical disturbance, but what it does, it just turns into a regular mid-latitude low pressure area that will continue to track and gradually diminish. But the effects of it will continue. We still have storm surge warnings out, you can see there, and actually from about Daytona Beach on up through Jacksonville, they can still see 4 to 6 feet of storm surge out of that as that moves off to the east, and we still see the onshore winds continuing. Things will be calming down over Florida, so we'll get a chance for that cleanup, and we'll take a look at what's going on there coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Rich. This morning, we're also hearing from Washingtonians who were in Florida this week. Some are evacuating, others are riding out the storm.
Savannah Welch is here in studio with us this morning. Savannah, a lot of people were holding their breath yesterday in anticipation of this huge storm.
Yeah, and Mimi, nerves really ran high ahead of Hurricane Milton, especially since Florida barely had a chance to recover from Helene. Hurricane-force winds, heavy rainfall, flooding all brought down homes in Milton's path. And this morning, people are waking up to see the damage. King 5 spoke with one couple from Seattle driving back to Washington to escape Milton. Sadly, their second home near Tampa was just destroyed from Helene. They had about 2.5 feet of water inside the house. Now, Monday morning, they packed up their belongings that they had left and they started the drive back to Seattle. They tell us the timing of the two back-to-back hurricanes made them act quickly.
That accelerated our having to take care of our place quite a lot when we got wind of what Milton was becoming. So we really rushed our plans, and we're tired. We're tired and we're stressed out.
Now, we also heard from another couple who live right outside of Tampa. They told King 5 they got a mobile alert on Wednesday evening. It said that 911 emergency services would be suspended due to the weather. King 5 also spoke with another person who lives on the east coast of Florida in St. Augustine. He said he was working to make sure his home didn't get flooded. He was prepping his home and laying out sandbags. Savannah Welch, King 5 News.
All right, Savannah, thanks. And stay up to the minute with our coverage on King 5 when it comes to Hurricane Milton. You can find us on air on King5.com, and remember, we're streaming 24/7 on our King 5 Plus.